Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today it is time to pick my November TBR. This year has flown by, so let's talk about my October books, what I've left to read, and the new books that have been added. So for my October books, I am about a little over a third of the way through An Astronaut's Guide to Life on Earth. I'm hoping to get this done this week. We have about 1 week left of October at this point when I'm filming this, so I'm hoping to get this done. And then one that I have not touched at all is Threshing Straw. I'm hoping to maybe at least start this. I don't know if I will get both of these done, but we'll see. So, Astronaut's Guide to Life on Earth is definitely not getting added back to my TBR, and I'm just going to hold off on adding this one back, so I'll set those off to the side. Another thing is I've added some books to my TBR since the last time I picked. I have Chop Wood, Carry Water, which is something that I have to read for work, and I'm just going to say right now, this is pointless. I would not recommend anybody read this. I've read like a third of it, I think. This is just complete BS, but I have to read it for work, and as soon as I'm done reading this, this is probably gonna end up in a little free library or in the trash, to be honest, because I really don't think this is worth anybody's time to read. But I have to read it, so that's what it is. So I'm gonna set these off to the side. One book that's not on here that I do need to get read in November that is currently being sent to me is my book club book for November, which is James. So I'm gonna try to get that one in. If I don't get it in to my picks, that's fine. Some other books that I recently added are these ones on the end. I'm not sure if this one was in my October picks or not, but Goodnight Irene has recently come into my collection. This is a borrowed book to me. Another borrowed book is The Bee Sting, and this one actually sounds really interesting. This one is also borrowed to me. And then my October book club book was so good that I needed to purchase the sequel to that, which is Warrior Girl on Earth. Firekeeper's Daughter was our book club book, and I wanted to read this because I want to be back in this author's writing, and the author just came out with a new book in September, Sisters in the Wind. So when I was picking up this book, I decided to pick this one up too. Also, the covers of her books are incredibly beautiful. So this is just something that I just want to see on my bookshelves because they're beautiful, and I really enjoy this author's writing. So we'll see if I get either of these on my TBR. And then, as always, I brought my Kindle over because recently I went through all of the books that I've downloaded on my Kindle, and I made a spreadsheet of the ones that I have read, the ones that I own on my Kindle, and the ones I've borrowed from KU. So I put that all into a spreadsheet. So I have a lot of books on here, and I'm going to try to tackle this. That might be one of my 2026 goals. So I'm going to set my Kindle over here as well. I think we'll just tuck that here, so that's an option. But now that I've rambled for long enough, let's pick our November books. November, I typically pick 4 books, so I think I'm going to stick with that, and then I'm going to add James when I get it onto my TBR. So I won't count that one for right now, but I will add it on. So we'll pick 4 books. I do not have very many left, but I think we'll make it to December, and I might in December just pick whatever's left on here. So the first pick, blue cover. I have quite a few blue covers. Also, the books that are from, I believe, here-ish over that way are ones that started the year on my TBR shelf. So if I can fit some of those onto my November and December TBR, that would be great, to try to read as many that have been on my shelves for over a year at this point. So blue cover, let's take a look. Okay, I have some options. I have How Minds Change, which is a non-fiction book that I feel like I could be in the headspace to finally read this. I've been putting this one off just because I wasn't in the headspace to read it at the time, so this is an option. I could also put Warrior Girl Unearthed, which is my new book, on, which I really want to do. And then one that is borrowed to me that has quite a bit of blue on the cover but also a lot of purple is Deep End by Allie Hazelwood. This one is borrowed to me by my sister, and it would be kind of fun to jump back into some Allie Hazelwood books. So looking at my three options here, I think this one, I think I really want to read Warrior Girl Unearthed. I just loved this author's writing and I would love to step back to this world. So for blue cover, I'm going to pick Warrior Girl Unearthed. And we'll add these two back to the shelf. Pick number 2. Book you're scared to read. Let's take a look and figure out what I am scared or intimidated to read. Okay, honestly, I think I keep putting off this book, How Minds Change, so I think this is the perfect book for this prompt. So a book that I am scared or intimidated to read is going to be How Minds Change. Okay, 2 more. Next pick. Fiction book. Okay, let's take a look. That's about 2/3 of my shelf right now is fiction, and see what I would like to read. So for my fiction book, I think I'm going to go with Not in Love by Allie Hazelwood. This is a borrowed book to me. It's also kind of floppy, which is nice. And I think this will be a quick, fairly easy read, so I'm going to add that to the TBR. And our last pick for November. We had a fiction book and now we have a non-fiction book. So let's take a look at what non-fiction books I still have left on my TBR. So at this point I really had only 2 non-fiction books to choose from because I have been reading quite a bit of non-fiction recently, but this is the book I have been thinking about, and it is The Hidden Reality by Brian Greene. I think this is the last one of his published books that I have not read yet, and it's been on my list for a while, so I would love to read it and add it to my collection with the rest of his books. So let's go over the 4 books that I have to read for November, as well as James, which will be added because that is my book club book. So, nonfiction book, The Hidden Reality. A fiction book, Not in Love. A book that I am intimidated to read, How Minds Change. And a book with a blue cover is Warrior Girl Unearthed. So that is everything for my November TBR. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.